Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Paul Kennedy with Leisure Fitness and welcome to Meet the Trainer. We've got a real treat for you today. We're here with Khalid McLeod. Now Khalid and I go way back. It turns out, as we were talking in the hallway, that we crossed paths many years ago, almost 20 years ago, at another company called Bally Total Fitness, which is no longer in existence.
Right.
But he was one of the service supervisors at one of the areas that I frequented as vice president of Bally Total Fitness. So anyway, great to have you here, Khalid.
Thank you.
You also are you are a celebrity trainer,
Yes.
fitness specialist, the international presenter. And tell us about Cam Life Fitness. You have Cam Life Fitness, and I want to see what that's all about.
Yeah, Cam Life, KM is just my initials, Khalid Abdul McLeod. And really what I do right now is I'm a contractor. I work with many individuals, not only with celebrities, but also just your regular Joe and Jane person.
Sure.
I help individuals become highly conditioned athletes, as well as someone who gets in a severe car accident and is just trying to be more mobile again.
Sure.
So really my website, what I try to do is really just try to get people more aware of what's out there, current trends, and really trying to hit a lot of top soapbox, as I call it, topics out there in fitness. What are some of the current trends? And one biggest trend where I want to discuss later today with you, Dr. Kennedy,
Sure.
is obesity.
Let's go into your background.
Okay.
We talked, you and I had met about 20 years ago.
Yes.
You haven't aged a day, incidentally, which really sort of ticks me off a little bit. But in any case, when we were with Bally Total Fitness, you were basically a service supervisor. But tell us where you got started. I know you were a football player.
Yes.
And that's basically your background. But take us from there and tell us how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, I was an aspiring football athlete. A lot of accolades coming out of college. I was trying to make my ways to the NFL. Didn't get drafted, so I was undrafted free agent. And whoever, people who know about that know how tough it is really to make that transition from college to pro. So anyway, I was working out on a regular basis, in Bally Total Fitness. And finally, I realized, Dr. Kennedy, I have no money. I need something to keep me going. So my agent could only give me so much of a stipend. So I said, you know what? Let me try to get a job here. So I'm spending so many hours in this place. And I went up for an interview. I asked him right there on the spot in my little tank top here, and we're talking about probably mid-'90s, so it's probably something crass now. But I asked him at the time, are there any positions available? And they said, well, are you certified? And I said, no. They said, well, we have a sales position available. And I said, okay, we can do that, but I really like the service side of things. And they said, well, since you're not certified, you should be going through sales. So I kind of got my start with Bally's.
As a salesman?
As a salesman.
Because I know that your way of doing that sales had an awful lot to do with making them understand how important fitness was.
Well, the main thing is really trying to get individuals to be comfortable in their environment. A lot of times the procrastination occurs because people are just so uncomfortable making that first step. That first step is just walking through the doors. Yeah. How many times do people drive past, different health clubs and say, you know what, today's going to be the day that I step in there, and they never make that step. They keep going on and going on. So once they did make that initial step, my job was to make them feel as comfortable as possible. As I sat down with individuals and discussed their strengths, their weaknesses, their wants and needs, I used to decide at one point, who would I think would be the best fit for this individual? And from there, that individual progressed along the way.
You were able to talk more directly about the benefits of exercise rather than just the price of the membership.
I think that's a great point. I think, it's important for a salesperson to know and understand the product.
Sure.
And I think so many times it's just, you want to get that sale, but I think that if you can make the individual feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more, if you can get the individual to open up, I think the sale will be a lot better in transition.
Mm-hmm.
What I tried to do was coming more from an athletic background, I knew more about fitness, I knew more about health and nutrition and some of the important things to do. So when I was actually sitting down with the individual to talk or discuss a membership, it felt so natural to me. Sure. It didn't really feel like I was selling them. It was more, we're talking about health and wellness and what aspects are so important and really helping that person live a health and lifestyle. Yep. And my background was just kind of learning the business inside out, but learning exactly, again, what health, good nutrition, fitness, all those different aspects are. So when it's trying to make a transition for somebody to make a commitment, it's a lot easier to transition.
In your case, when you were back in the fitness area, what were a couple of the questions that you would talk to a person to get them started on a fitness program, to get them sort of, I don't want to use this term, but it's probably the best one, to get them hooked, to make them understand that wellness and fitness go hand in hand?
What kind of questions did I get? First of all, it was the questions, they weren't the right questions, but these were the questions I would get. And it was my job to kind of turn that around.
Sure.
How long will it take me to lose, X amount of pounds?
Sure, of course.
Can I stay committed with, with these these demands or these needs and wants that you're asking me to do. I think mainly commitment, I would say, is one thing. You know, some people were into more the cardiovascular aspect, but not into the weights.
Most were. Yeah.
Some people were into the weights, but not a different cardiovascular aspects.
Yeah.
You know, so again, it was more of just trying to get the whole product. You know, trying to introduce a person to the whole product, the atmosphere, and I think where it starts off is again making them feel definitely comfortable with their media environment. That's probably the main thing.
The more lean body tissue a person has, the easier time they're going to have in not gaining fat weight, because our metabolism is largely driven by muscle mass. And as we get older, that muscle mass starts to go away because of the sedentary lifestyle we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Today.
I think that's a great point right there. I think what people don't understand is the more strength training you do, the more calories you burn when you're in your basal level. That's meaning your resting metabolic rate, your relaxing level. A lot of people don't understand that. They think right away, well, if I start lifting weights, I'm going to gain weight.
That's right.
And that's definitely, we know that's not true.
Well, it's been a really great having you here today. It's great to have a professional like you working with us here at Leisure Fitness, and I hope we're going to have a long relationship here. And I know you have an awful lot of things you want to show. We're going to have you do a few separate things on your own. I'm looking forward to seeing those. So great to see you, man.
As well.
After
Thank
all
you
those
so
years.
much. All right,
welcome.
thank you.
Welcome.